What's going on, everyone? It is your sister in spirit and your friend Alicia Dunleavy here. And today's episode is a sacred reflection and a soft landing for every version of child and mother on Mother's Day. So, whether you're celebrating, grieving, longing, healing, or simply unsure on how to feel today, you are welcome. And I hope that this episode touches every aspect of how Mother's Day can be a really potent time of year and portal for us to dive more deeply into the heart. For some, this day is about flowers, hugs, and gratitude, and for others, it's a tender ache, a silent prayer, or a mix of joy and sorrow. And yesterday was definitely that experience for me, so much so that I didn't even realize that I missed posting an episode. As many of you know, I lost my mother very young, and it's so interesting how that shadow, that wound, kind of like bubbles up in the most shadowy of ways. And what I mean by that is not shadowy as in dark, right? But more as like unseen, like it's just a part of me that it's my blind spot. But once I kind of had the minute to process everything, I was able to show up to this space a lot more clearly and a lot more authentically. So for that, I am grateful. The day really brought up a lot of different aspects of motherhood. And I really wanted to honor all of the expressions of motherhood that came up, right? The connection to our biological mothers, whether positive or negative, our chosen mothers, and those who mother us with love and care. Those who are healing mother wounds, and those of us who are reparenting ourselves one tender step at a time. It's fascinating how the mother itself is kind of this lotus or this flower that, I guess another way to put it would be like an onion. Like there are so many layers to mother, right? And from a spiritual standpoint, to be able to actually peel back the layers to get to the core of the divine mother, there are a lot of different ways a lot of different paths to travel or to build back on, to discover that more divine mother archetype that I feel like each of us at some level are continuously searching for. Some of us are really looking to heal that aspect of self. And Mother's Day can be a huge catalyst, trigger, portal, opportunity for us to reflect on not only our mothers biologically, but like that role of mother within each of us. There are many faces to motherhood, and sometimes I feel like motherhood is just like this sacred web of experiences, right? Not necessarily a person, but it's an experience, not only to be mother, but to experience mother. And to be mother, right? I say thank you for showing up in exhaustion and in love. To be mother is to be giving. To be mother is to be overgiving. To be mother is to be nurturing. To be mother is to be the container for community. To be mother is to be martyr. To be mother is to be expanding and growing. To be mother means to adapt to your environment and to all of the participants that come into contact, that grow from you just by your existence. To be mother is to be, infinite giver. To be mother is to be exhausted. To be mother is to be boundless. Oh, God, to be boundless, no boundary. To be mother is to be infinite. And when I say infinite, it's like, where do I begin and where does everything else end? To be mother is unconditional love. To be mother is conditional love. Yeah. I also think about those who have lost their mother, whether lost to like death or lost to just life. Oof. Who have those of the children that have missed out on the experience of mother because life just stripped away the ability to be nurturing and kind, to grow, to expand, to be infinite, to be boundless. To be a community center, to be a maker, to be a giver. And they just couldn't be that because life had taken that away from them. And also for death to be the thing that took our mothers away. And just acknowledging the grief in that, the grief of not having your mom, whether physically or emotionally or mentally. And I pray that your grief is honored and that the memories, the good memories, can be nourished with grace and that the bad memories can be released with forgiveness. I think about the process to become mother to the inner child. Not just to become the mother to like your actual children or grandchildren, but to actually like connect with the inner child and realize all of the places that mother was not able to touch, but all of the places that the inner child are starving for mother. You know, in that way, those of us who are doing those deep dives into motherhood, like we're rewriting generational legacies. And I also think about the mothers who have lost their children or have dreamt of having one. And I can't imagine, and I can't begin to speak as if I can relate, but my heart goes out to you. And I witnessed my grandmother lose her child, and I can't and won't imagine that experience. You know, you are a mother in spirit. And that is all that I can say, because I don't think that there are words other than I see you and my heart goes out to you. And it's wild to think like of all these different like expressions of mother, like not only are we just one, but we can carry multiples, right? Like I am a mother. I've lost a mother. I am a mother to my inner child and to other children or other human beings that come into my life. I get to play that role of mother. And it's also wild to think how we can just cycle through these. My story is just beginning, right? And I think on Mother's Day, it creates this portal for us to have permission to feel it all. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel it, darn it. But in that opportunity to feel it is the opportunity to embody the Divine Mother that would hold her child with tenderness, compassion, and patience. And that within itself is a powerful portal to walk through. The permission to feel, to embody. The permission to feel, to receive. And sometimes that journey to receiving is just that, a journey. It is that peeling back, okay, this year I'll do a little more, this year I'll do a little more, this year I'll do a little more, you know? Another thing that kind of comes to mind is like, again, like talking about that archetype of mother. And I think about how across every culture, the mother shows up. whether it's Gaia or Mother Nature, Mother Mary, Isis, Yemaya, Kuan Yin. Like, this archetype of Divine Mother has many faces, right? Many names, many descriptions. But the essence of Divine Mother all seems to be the same. She gives life. You know, she holds people inside of their pain, mental, emotional, physical. She nurtures, she forgives, and she reminds us that we're never truly alone. And when we feel lost, you know, we can kind of ask, like, what would a loving mother say to this hurting part of me now? Like, to embody that motherly archetype is to simply ask the question, like, what would a mom do here for me? A loving mother do for me right now? Because sometimes I feel like a lot of us experienced a mother that maybe would scold or criticize or maybe avoid. But there kind of creates an opportunity for a mother to be like, hey, come here. Come here. Let me just kind of hold space for you. Let me hold you while you're going through this. And it's fascinating to me that mother archetype is something that we can cultivate within ourselves, whether you are a man or whether you are a woman. The great thing about being a child is that the two people, for the most part, that you experience is a masculine and a feminine energy. I'm going to take gender out of it, but like, for the most part, you're going to experience some sort of masculine energy and some sort of feminine energy. And that doesn't matter what role it takes. It could be a teacher, it could be somebody in your church, it could be somebody in your community, it could be your best friend's parents, but like, there are two parts as children that we kind of like the duality, right? The mother, the father. And whether you are a man or what, you are just child, right? And that Divine Mother does not discriminate. That Divine Mother archetype does not discriminate. Men and women can both embody that Divine Mother energy, because intrinsically, you know what that is. You know what it is. And it is because it is a spiritual blueprint. A blueprint that is not only expressed in humanity and in the animal kingdom, but it is expressed in nature. You know, the Gaia, the Mother Nature itself. That has been one of the most potent ways for me to heal my mother wound. When I decided to like actually connect with the earth herself, I experienced profound love, unconditional love, and healing just by laying there in the grass and speaking, sharing my emotions, and just being held, learning how to soften my body into the earth. What does it even feel like to be held? Some of us, it's been so long. Like, some of us, we still have our moms, but our moms haven't held us since we were like 10, 9, 8, 7. Like, there comes a point where our parents don't cuddle us anymore. They don't pick us up anymore. But in that Divine Mother archetype, I have found that Mother Earth will hold you forever. You are not too big for Mother Earth. So, an encouragement to understand that, like, that Divine Mother energy is available to you. That it is an archetype. It's a blueprint. And it is a possibility that goes beyond the external, and that is profoundly, infinitely internal. It's an internal experience waiting to be unlocked within you. I feel like I'll just kind of share vulnerably about my experience. You know, I have had the very beautiful and sacred opportunity to hold a motherly role to quite a few people in my life. And to allow that divine archetype to speak through me And I've also had the experience to allow that divine archetype to exist in me, around me, through me, for me to experience through myself. But there's no denying that the opportunity to mother brings up a lot of things to me, which is like this extreme level of self-sacrifice that feels unfair. And understanding that those layers of self-sacrifice are not inherently anybody else's fault but my own. And that there's work to unravel, but that there also is, just like being a mother itself, right? You are sacrificing because you're giving up your body. You're hosting an entire different human being. You are the food source for an entirely separate human being. There's no denying that intrinsically there is a part of motherhood that is just giving up your identity for something bigger, to give life to something else, to something bigger. And the weight that can kind of come with that sometimes, and the joy that can come with that sometimes. The duality of being the giver of life, the nurturer of life, the sustainer of life. So sitting with all of that, the gift of being wanted, the gift of being needed, and the duality of that need, of that gift. And then I also had to sit and face that almost 26-year wound of not having my mom here. And I could not go a year without not setting something up at the altar for her, because my mother is still very active on my behalf, still protecting me, still loving me. And even though I have regular interactions with her, it does not change for 1 second that I miss her deeply and dearly. I got to experience the joy of being a mom and like having this human being that I just love so much. I got to experience the joy of people reaching out to me and saying, Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for being who you were to me and who you are to me. And I also got to experience the profound grief of not having that in my life, and not necessarily not having the divine mother, right? Not having mother figures, but not having my biological mom. And yeah, the dichotomy between the like joy and the sorrow was interesting to experience. It is this never-ending the word I'm looking for is it's an interesting day to experience the differences, the extremes, the opposite spectrum of joy and grief, the complexities of the human experience. And again, like knowing that my mother is there spiritually with me always, but then also like just genuinely missing the best parts of being human, which is to actually be able to physically interact, right? I wanted to just come on and encourage everyone to know that each of us have a story, a mother story. And it is an invitation to own and accept yours, and to always know that there is a divine mother archetype that is pure, loving, unconditional, nurturing that is available to you. And you are the mother that you are seeking. The parts of mother that you felt like were missing, you are able to give that self to you. So don't be afraid to sit down and be like, what parts of mother do I feel like I missed? Make a list and start giving that to yourself. I missed out on having home cooked meals. Give that to yourself. Pick one meal this week. I missed out on family vacations. Plan a little mini trip, right? A micro trip. A little day vacay. Or a big vacay. If there is a list of things that you feel like you missed out on, allow the inner child to speak and let the Divine Mother within respond with love, care, and action. So thanks for being here. To all of you mothers out there, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. And to all the children out there looking for mother, she is all around you. Don't be afraid to open up your heart to receiving that energy, because it is available to you. So happy Mother's Day to all. Peace and love. Bye.